Hello, I'm Matt the Beauty Shaper, and in this video I'll explain what the hormones that affect hunger are, such as ghrelin, leptin, and cortisol, and how they affect the weight gain and weight loss in your body. First of all, I'll start by explaining what they are. Ghrelin is the main hormone that stimulates hunger, and it's produced by the cells that line the stomach and the pancreas. It's one of the two food intake regulators. When ghrelin is active in the body, it tells you that you want to eat. And there's something called ghrelin entrainment. And that's what controls your hunger during regular meal times. In other words, if you're used to eating breakfast at 8 a.m. and lunch at 12 p.m., ghrelin will cause you to think you're hungry at those times. And even when you're not hungry. And that can cause you to gain weight. This is the amino acid peptide hormone that's in the intestines, and that goes up during regular meal times, and that's what makes you hungry. It does this by waking up the gastric digestive juices in the intestines and pancreas. This is similar to something called Pavlov's classical conditioning theory. This is where the dog is conditioned to salivate at the ring of the bell, even if there's no food around. Well, the effects of ghrelin show that the hunger may come at a time when the body is used to eating, not necessarily when the body needs more food. Now I'll tell you what leptin is. Leptin was discovered in 1994 by Jeffrey Friedman and is considered a weight loss hormone. It's called the obesity or fat hormone. Mr. Friedman is most known for his role in leptin and weight management, along with the genetics of its control on obesity. Leptin is a hormone released from the fat cells in the adipose tissues. It regulates and stops long-term food intake, including energy output. Leptin's main purpose is to maintain body weight. This hormone is released from the fat cells and is located in the adipose tissues that send signals to the hypothalamus in the brain. It helps regulate and alter long-term food intake along with energy expenditure. And not just from one meal to the next either. The primary design of leptin is to stop hunger. And this is what can help reduce weight gain. Some food that contains leptin are fatty fish, beef, nuts, cocoa, pumpkin, seafood, leafy green vegetables, and oatmeal, whole grains, and beans. When leptin increases, ghrelin decreases, and vice versa. Levels of leptin increase as you gain weight as it tries to stop your hunger and lose excess weight. When your weight goes back up and it goes to normal, leptin goes down. Leptin basically helps curb your hunger. In a study on leptin and hunger levels, it was found that when you have less sleep, leptin levels go up, but when you also have environmental stress along with lack of sleep, leptin levels tend to go down, causing hunger. Now I'll tell you what cortisol is. Cortisol is the body's main stress hormone that controls mood, motivation, and fear. Cortisol increases to high levels within the first few minutes after waking up, and it starts going down within half hour after awakening, leveling off throughout the day. At other times during stress, the body tends to crave food and get hungry, and this causes eating even if you're full. The body thinks that the stress used up a lot of calories and tries to replenish itself. This is due to a fight or flight response in the body. Being under stress once in a while is likely to have an opposite effect because the release of cortisol, it basically starts breaking down fatty acids to use as energy. And when the stressful situation is over, cortisol levels drop and the body goes back to normal. It's when stress is a regular occurrence that hunger pangs set in. And this potential of overeating is the cause of weight gain. Continuous stress basically causes cortisol levels to go up and continue to stay up. The cortisol levels usually go down as soon as the stress goes down. When cortisol is up, insulin levels go up and glucose levels drop. This drop in glucose makes the body crave sweets rather than basically desiring something healthy. Once the body satisfies its cravings, stress goes down and cortisol levels drop as well. If this keeps happening and craving for comfort food becomes a regular thing, obviously the body's going to start gaining weight. It's important to know that lack of sleep is a form of stress and can also increase cortisol levels. One very odd finding from a 1980 study showed that obese patients did not produce much cortisol, and cortisol production is akin to lean body mass. Conversely, obese people have been seen to have a 51% increase in cortisol levels after eating, while non-obese people only had an increase of 5%. Having regular high cortisol levels can cause other problems besides weight gain, such as lowered immune system, the appearance of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, peptic ulcers, osteoporosis, and depression. High cortisol levels can also cause cancer cells to advance despite anti-cancer treatments. Some doctors choose to treat high cortisol levels with corticosteroids only to cause irregular heartbeats in its place. In order to counteract cortisol, you should find ways to counteract stress, such as with medications, drinking calming teas, regular exercise, or even meditation. Something as simple as that. Now I'll tell you what weight loss plateau is. Weight loss plateau is when the body doesn't have a change in weight within 3 weeks or more. It's important to know that the difference between weight loss plateau and fat loss plateau is different. If you notice after a few weeks your weight seems to stay the same or some weight gain is noticed, it doesn't mean that you have a weight loss plateau. Weight loss plateau could mean loss of fat or muscle or both. One has to realize that no change in weight or a weight gain could mean that the exercise is doing its job. For example, when you're toning your body or building muscle, your body will naturally weigh more because muscle weighs more than fat. Now I'll tell you what causes weight loss plateau. Soon after you start your diet, the body loses weight due to the release of glycogen, since that's what it uses as energy. One of glycogen's components is water, so when glycogen burns, it releases water. Therefore, the loss in weight is virtually water loss. It's possible that the first and the second weeks of weight loss may actually be just water. In order to keep losing weight, calorie restriction should be part of one's daily life. In other words, you need to reduce your calorie intake so that it will be less than what your calorie requirements for your body are for that day. The problem with consuming less calories is that the body decides to burn less calories to compensate and keep the body from starving. This is called starvation mode. The weight loss can be regained by adding an ongoing regular exercise routine. You can keep your weight loss and you can keep losing more weight by adding regular cardio exercises every day, or at least a few days a week. Lastly, try to keep moving and eating healthy, because physical activity can help you keep the weight off. And your efforts in staying active and eating healthy will pay off in the long run. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel so that I know you have interest in the information I'm sharing with you. My goal is to spread the news on health and fitness so that more people will be conscious of their weight and eat enough food to be satisfied while eating sensibly and losing weight. Thank you so much for watching my video. Have a great day.